Hey YouTube land, Tychondrus there, doing another action figure review. Now, before I proceed, I just need to say these reviews are intended for collectors over the age of 13 years. If you're under the age of 13 years, please ask permission from a parent or guardian before watching any videos, especially online or especially on YouTube, just in case they contain adult content. And I also need to give a big shout out to, as he would say, my good brother, Michael Mercy, from Canada, who managed to score me these two Masters of the Universe Masters of the WWE Universe figures, Mr. T and Jake the Snake Roberts. These are wave 3, I believe. I could be wrong. I think they're wave 3. Just trying to think who's in. Actually, I think these are wave 4. Yes, these are wave 4 because wave 5 is the next wave that has Roddy Piper in it, and a second version of Macho Man. But these are from the wave that includes, if I just turn the back of one of the comics over because it has the lowdown on the back. So this is the wave that includes Jake the Snake Roberts, Mr. T, Seth Rollins with his big flamey sword, and his Wonderbread He-Man style armor, and the Fiend Bray Wyatt, who I'm not too familiar with as a wrestler, but he's interesting in the fact that he has arm attachments similar to Roboto, but he has like a more creature kind of beast face type thing going on. So if I just bring in the boxes and I move the figures out of the way, they come in the standard packaging for the Masters of the WWE Universe line. So it's that kind of classic Masters of the Universe style packaging, but with the old, in fact it looks more like the old classic WWF logo. And you have Mr. T, and if I flip around to the back of the box, it's a multilingual comic, or multilingual box. It has an image of T hammering out his golden fist, and you have instructions on how to use them, twist them into different kind of poses. The figures I just mentioned, interestingly, on the back of the box for these, they don't give the names, they just give a code for each figure. And I'm just see if that's the same. Yeah, it's the exact same on Jake the Snake. And on Jake the Snake's one, it shows again how to use the figure and artwork of the figure, or of the character as well. And it's the same standard packaging. So packaging aside, we'll go on to the kind of packing accessories, which is what Mattel have been doing with all these lines. So this is the Jake one, this is the Mr. T one. So basically each figure has a little one panel comic. Now as far as I know, there's going to be differences between the Canadian versions and the American versions of these. In the American versions of these, if I can just get one of the more recent ones, bear with me a moment. Let's see. Yeah. So this is the one for the Rey Mysterio figure. So you can see Rey Mysterio, heroic high flyer, and it gives a height, weight, superstar powers, foreign objects, and stuff like that. Where since these are the Canadian multilingual ones, all it has is evil purveyor of poison, but it has no other bio. And again with the comics, the packing comics, if you look at the Rey Mysterio one, it actually has speech bubbles, and it has all the figures on the back of this one. The only one I'm missing is Macho Man, Randy Savage. I wish I could get one. Unfortunately, they're silly prices at the moment on eBay. All the Macho Man figures I've seen are way into like the 30 plus price point for a figure that's generally $15. So, well, $15 in States. I think they're about 20 euros over here, and in the European market, people are wanting 40 euros plus for Macho Man. So unfortunately, he's the one out of this whole wave I haven't picked up. So if anyone out there in YouTube land would like to get me one, I will be greatly appreciated. But you know, them's the breaks. so this is the Jake one. So he shows him it kind of shows what he does, and he shows him up against, it looks like he's helping Triple H, but then it looks like he turns on him. So I'm not too sure what the whole story arc is. I'm pretty sure as I said, the American version will have the speech bubbles, and then with the Mr. T one, it just says a heroic pitier of fools, and shows him with his big golden fists, and then it shows him, it looks like he's making a weapon as opposed to making the fists as what's shown on the comic, or sorry, on the artwork for the back of the box. And then it shows talons. It shows him running out the door. I think it's like him hearing something, running out the door, and he sees something with talons. I can only assume it's some sort of, creature like Screech from Masters of the Universe, like a WWE version of Screech. So onto the figures and their actual accessories. So as with all these all the figures in these lines, they have a kind of standard look for the Masters of the Universe style. But if you're a fan of the, sorry, I have stands left over, they're making noise. Basically, if you want just a kind of more wrestler look to these guys, you can take the armor off. Now, with the exception of some figures, one of the figures which is one of the ones I don't have for the, I think it was the way before these guys, which is, what's his name? Is The Good Day or something like that. He's basically like a Many Faces style character, so he doesn't have the ability to kind of strip off the armor to make him look like a standard wrestler, because he uses a Many Faces style body. But for the most part, most of the other wrestlers, you can, like for T here, you can take off this armor piece. It's a kind of rubbery piece, which I will show in a little bit. You can take off the rubber piece, and you can have him kind of look more like a standard, just a wrestler from when they reuse Masters of the Universe figures and do, I think it was Remco did it, I could be wrong. I know one of the kind of lines did figures that looked like He-Man figures, but they were wrestlers, so it's kind of a nod to that. But for accessories, for pure accessories that come in the packaging, you get these two fists. One is based on Jitsu's fist, and the other one's based on Fisto. So you have two fists, they just plug straight into the arms, and you have Mr. T with his golden fists of doom, or his pitier of fools. He's like, quit your jibber jabber, fool. Wow. So you can do that. Jake comes with technically 2 accessories in the box. He only has the 1 accessory packed behind him, which is his snake. Now, I know the character had a name for the snake. I can't remember it offhand. I was never a big... I was a big Jake the Snake fan, but I was never really allowed to watch wrestling because it was deemed too violent when I was growing up. So, yeah. So my folks would never let me watch wrestling. I did manage to watch stuff every now and again, and I always enjoyed Jake the Snake because he had the big snake always wrapped around him, which you can simulate with the figure. But what's cool about this guy is he has a gimmick where you can remove his faceplate and you get to see the snake underneath. And what's even better about that is, if I just pop his head off for a second, it makes it easier to do this. You unclip his armor at the top. I would stress, because this is a more solid piece compared to the rubbery one that's on Mr. T, it will probably snap over time due to age. It will it shouldn't snap straight away, but just be aware that over the course of time, plastic tends to get brittle, so just be wary. Now if I can just pop him apart, it'd be nice. He's going to be a bit awkward, isn't he? So he has 2 little clasps in here you have to kind of pop in. If I can do it on screen, I will. If not, I might have to pop it off screen. There we go. So his armor is essentially the battle armor He-Man, battle armor Skeletor style body. So it's a solid piece. I think it's the same one that came with the first Macho Man figure as well. Unfortunately, I don't have that. The main difference is you don't have a swap-outable emblem. So like where battle damage He-Man and Macho Man, Randy Savage one had like his sunglasses, and you'd pop in the different damaged versions of the sunglasses. This one you have just the snake emblem. What's cool is the bottom of his armor looks like the fangs as well from a snake, which is pretty cool. But if I just pop his head back on, you can see he has a snake print paint application on his torso, which is really, really cool. He does have, as you saw, he has all the same gimmicks as the standard Masters of the Universe and the Masters of the WWE Universe figures. So you can pop them apart at the waist, the boot cut, the arms will pop out and the head will pop off. So you can mix and match stuff. His overall wrestler look is pretty cool. I absolutely love the fact that, I'm not sure if you can see this on camera, but he actually still has his moustache on his snake face, which is kind of cool. So if we just bring it back into the faceplate, you see he has these 80s style tash, and when you pop it off, he still has that just above his lip for his snake fangs, which is kind of cool. I've been trying to figure out whether the snake print on his face is sculpted or just painted. It kind of feels like it's sculpted, but it's definitely just painted on the chest. It could be just the way it's done. It's like a heavy paint application, so it kind of feels like there's indentation on it. But again, when you have that armor piece off, you can still wrap the snake around him for his classic wrestler look. You could potentially, if you wanted just a plain wrestler look for him, you could probably glue the face on so it doesn't come off, and you could probably get something to wipe off the paint application so it just brings it back to this bare plastic. But that's if you really wanted to go out of your way to make him look just like a regular Jake the Snake. Personally, I like him as is. And then for vehicles and stuff like that, I was a little disappointed with old T here. I was very much hoping to get him sit in this, because the color scheme matches up the old attack track. As you can see, the color scheme does kind of match quite a bit. Unfortunately, because of the way his armor is designed, you can't fit into it with the armor on. You can put him in it without the armor, but then you kind of lose the matching color scheme, because the blues and the reds and even the gold kind of matches up. One other thing about Mr. T is his boots are made from gold plastic, so I would be wary about the peg for popping the leg off at the boot cut. I would be wary about that maybe snapping. I don't know if it's the same gold plastic that we would have had back in the day for gold plastic syndrome, but it is something just to note. So because I couldn't get him with a matching vehicle, well, with the attack track, he should look pretty good if it hadn't rolled off screen with the Bashosaurus. So if we just get him to sit in it, he looks pretty damn cool, rocking the Bashosaurus going along the place. What's also interesting is, just to bring in some other figures, the arm attachment is the same one from the Seth Rollins figure. So his fist that Mr. T has, it's just done in gold plastic, so it doesn't have the gold or the silver strap paint applications that this one has, but it's the exact same thing, and you just pop it onto the fist. What's interesting is on Seth Rollins, he actually has an enclosed fist for you to put it onto, whereas T's is actually open. But T, it's the other way around. T has a closed fist on his left hand instead of right, whereas Jake the Snake has 2 open hands. So for something to match Jake, if I just move things aside and try and not knock everything all over the place, the only thing I could come up with that would kind of match his color scheme a bit would be a Night Stalker. So you should be able to fit into that nicely, and I'll just pan the camera up. I'll leave his armor off for the time being, but you should easily be able to get him to fit in with both the armor on or the armor off. So he does look pretty cool in that. And then just for a size comparison, I just bring everyone out and find places to put things, because he happens to be in the comic for both of them. I just get Jake to stand there. Come on, Jake, stand up. There we go. And get Mr. T. Bring in the old Triple H. That's kind of supposed to be the Skeletor of the line. You have Jake the Snake with Triple H as the Skull King, and you can see they stand pretty cool. They all are around the same 5.5 inch mark. So if I just bring my tape measure in, you can see they stand around 5.5 inches. Really cool line. I do recommend picking the Masters of WWE Universe stuff up, and even if you want to cross match them with the Masters of the Universe, you can. Jake the Snake and Mr. T are a great set of figures, and again, many thanks to Michael Mercy for sending me these. So cheers, and thanks for watching my video review, and I do recommend picking them up if you can, but don't pay overinflated prices for them. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video review, and as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel.